Hi, high schoolers. It's Miss Knudsen again. Today we will talk about polygons and we'll define what a polygon is. And then we will describe polygons by their attributes or characteristics that are true about different kinds of polygons. So like we've done before, there's several key vocabulary words that will help us as we talk about polygons. So polygon, regular polygon, triangle, pentagon, hexagon, octagon, quadrilateral, parallelogram, trapezoid, rectangle, rhombus, and square. And I have these a little separated because quadrilaterals are one type of polygon, and all of these are types of quadrilaterals. And we'll look at that a little bit more. So to start, a polygon is a closed two-dimensional flat shape with three or more sides. And I think it's a little helpful to look at examples of polygons. So these are all closed shapes. They're flat. You see the sides are all straight. So those are polygons. On the right side, you see some non-examples. So if there's an opening, if there's curved lines, if lines would cross, that would not be a polygon. So regular polygons have congruent angles and congruent sides. And remember, congruent means the same. So with regular polygons, for example, regular triangles, quadrilaterals, pentagons, which we'll get into these, but we've looked at triangles already. The angles are all congruent or the same measure, and the sides measure the same length in a regular triangle. Non-regular triangles might have different angle measures and different length sides. Triangle we've already covered, so that's a shape with three sides and three angles. Pentagon is a polygon with five sides and five angles. Hexagon is a polygon with six sides and six angles. And an octagon is a polygon with eight sides and eight angles. So you see on those past slides, there's been an example of a regular octagon and a not regular. That was the same with a hexagon, a regular hexagon, and then some that are not regular. And pentagon, same thing. Regular pentagon, and then somewhere the angles, or maybe the sides were different lengths. So now we're going to get into a type of polygon that is called a quadrilateral. So I just want to take a moment to look at this Venn diagram. What do you notice about the quadrilaterals shown on this diagram? And feel free to pause the video because I'm not going to pause for too long. So you might notice that all of the polygons on this paper have four sides. That is true about quadrilaterals. You might notice that some of the shapes, there's overlapping circles. They maybe look a little similar, but then we have some shapes like trapezoids are out here all alone. So we will look at each of these type of quadrilaterals in the next slides, and you'll see that some types of quadrilaterals have some characteristics that are the same, but then sometimes some that are different. So it might be true that one of these actually can be called other names too. So a quadrilateral is a polygon with 4 sides, 4 angles. So all of these that we looked at on this chart, these are all quadrilaterals. A parallelogram has 4 sides with both pairs of opposite sides being parallel. So we talked about parallel lines already. This parallel line on the top and this on the bottom, with these dashes, just the 1 dash and the 1 dash, we're showing these opposite lines are parallel, and we're showing the line on the left here, the line segment, and the line segment on the right with the 2 dashes are also parallel. So 1 pair of parallel lines, 2 pairs of parallel lines. That is what has to be true for a polygon to be a parallelogram. Both pairs of lines are parallel, or they will never cross. So a trapezoid has exactly 1 pair of parallel lines. You can see that in these trapezoids up here. In this one, the bottom and the top, those are the parallel lines. That is the 1 pair of parallel lines. But if you look at the sides here, those lines, if they would continue, they would cross. So those are not parallel. So this is a trapezoid because there's 1 pair of parallel lines. And that's true with the others too. A rectangle has 2 pairs of parallel sides, so like the parallelogram, but it also has 4 right angles. So if you look at the examples here, we could draw that square or put that square in the corner, showing this is a 90-degree right angle in every single angle of a rectangle. All of the corners are a right angle. And then again, opposite sides are parallel. A rhombus has 4 congruent sides, which means same length. So all of the sides measure the same length. They're all the same. Notice on a rhombus though, some of these, the angles are different. So I can't call this rhombus, for example, I can't call it a square. This one, I could also call it a square and a rhombus, because for a rhombus, the 4 sides have to be the same. A square has 4 congruent sides and 4 right angles. So 4 sides that are the same length and 4 right angles. So like a rectangle, squares need 4 right angles. Additionally, squares need their sides to be the same length too. So we aren't going to get into this too much today. I just wanted to put it up to show you because it's a little interesting that a rhombus, for example, is also a parallelogram because it has 2 pairs of parallel sides. And it's also a quadrilateral because it's a shape with 4 sides. But most specifically, it's a rhombus because it's a parallelogram with 4 sides that are the same. So your work in Class Kick today will be like this example. I wanted to look at one here before I show you the Class Kick code. I'll give you a word bank of some of these shapes we've gone through at the top, and then you'll see a picture of something from the real world, and you have to decide, okay, what shape is that showing? So here there's a picture of some bricks, and I highlighted a rectangle because I know this is a rectangle. So I said this brick is an example of a rectangle. I know this because there are 2 pairs of parallel sides and 4 right angles. And I have another example in Class Kick 2 where I highlight it and show it a little more. So now your work is going to be to go to Class Kick and practice naming some shapes and explaining how you know it is the shape you're saying it is. And there's the link in the page on Schoology too.